Wait, gifts that were unwrapped? You're gonna break into another man's home and unwrap his gifts? What was this? Christmas time? His birthday something? Oh, that's crazy. That's insane, man. Oh, I know what'll get to him. I'm gonna unwrap this dude's birthday presents. And then we're gonna lock his dog in the bathroom. Yeah, that'll teach him to mess with my girl. This dude is crazy. For sure, man. Welcome back to the Pierce Mentality. My name is Matthew Pierce. If this is your first time stopping by, please do consider subscribing. If you're returning, I love you. I appreciate you. Let's get into it. All right, first thing to acknowledge, yes, I'm extremely sunburned. You know how it is, man. Memorial weekend, just spending time out in the sun. There's nothing wrong with your phone, your computer screen, whatever it is you're watching this on. I am extremely red. This is real. All right, it looks like Kid Cudi took the stand in the Diddy trial. I don't know much about the story between them. All I know is that I think Kid Cudi was seeing Cassie at some point, and Diddy allegedly, but I think he did it, blew up Kid Cudi's car. The car did blow up. That is a fact. I don't know if they ever proved that Diddy was responsible for it, but it's widely understood that he was. Anyway, let's get into it.
Trial. Rapper Kid Cudi is now on the stand. Rapper Kid Cudi is now on the stand in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. He reportedly had a brief relationship with Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura nearly 15 years ago. His testimony follows George Kaplan, a former employee of Combs who was granted immunity in exchange for his testimony. He told jurors about the elaborate process of setting up hotel rooms for what prosecutors allege were drug-fueled sex parties called freak-offs. Combs denies all of the allegations against him and says all sexual encounters were consensual.
Even if you haven't kept up with the Diddy trial at all, you have heard of the freak-offs. That's probably the most prominent thing in this whole trial. Everybody knew about the parties that were going on at Diddy's house even before he was under fire for, you know, all these crazy allegations. But to say all the sexual acts happening there were consensual, I don't know if I believe that. But I don't know much about the Diddy parties. I just know a lot of people were on drugs. So that alone kind of takes away, you know, the validity in that, in my opinion. Plus there are, you know, allegations of blackmail, video footage, things happening at those parties that can be used against these celebrities. It doesn't really feel consensual. Whatever, let's keep going.
Let's bring in ABC's Rena Roy alongside contributor and criminal defense attorney Bernarda Villalona, live outside of the courthouse there. And Rena, just set the scene for us. What is the latest from court right now?
Well, Alex, we saw Kid Cudi walk into the courthouse this morning with a bit of swagger, black leather jacket, wearing jeans, smoking a cigarette. As you said, he is now on the stand now. And
Usual Kid Cudi. Just swagged out.
He's already talking about some of the threats that he says he faced while he was in a relationship with Cassie Ventura back in 2011, including one time that he says Cassie called to alert him that Sean Combs had broken into his Los Angeles home. He says that he raced over there to try and confront Combs, so that when he got there, Combs was gone. He said some things had been tampered with. His dog seemed startled. He was locked in the bathroom. So he called police to file a break-in report. And he's also talking about a time from January of 2012 when he says his car was set on fire with a Molotov cocktail in his lot.
Okay, before we get to the car, that I didn't know. Diddy broke into Kid Cudi's house? That's some crazy stuff, man. Especially someone of that stature, with that amount of money, with that amount of power and influence. You would think he could just send some people to bust into his house. Whether or not it was to find Cudi there and attack him, or it was just to ruffle some things around, maybe send a message. It's crazy that he would do it himself. Again, considering his level of power and his status. But that's crazy, man. That's some petty jealousy. Some dude's talking to your girl, so you're going to go break into his house and startle his dog? All right. Let's see what they say about the car.
When he says his car was talking about a time from January of 2012 when he says his car was set on fire with a Molotov cocktail in his Los Angeles driveway. Just last week, Ventura testified that Sean Combs had threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car because he had found out about their relationship together. But his lawyers have denied that he had any involvement in any arson. But remember that arson is a part of the racketeering charge that he's facing. So this is crucial testimony for jurors to hear.
And Bernarda, how is the prosecution hoping Kid Cudi's testimony might help them prove that the sex trafficking and racketeering charges are appropriate?
So Kid Cudi's testimony specifically goes to the racketeering conspiracy. It doesn't go to the sex trafficking or to the transportation for the purpose of engaging prostitution charges. In regards to the racketeering conspiracy, you have to prove at least 2 predicate acts. And one of those predicate acts that the prosecution are trying to prove is that of arson for blowing up the car of Kid Cudi. So that is his main purpose in testifying, but also he's giving context as to Sean Combs, his demeanor, his jealousy, his violent nature, and what he was willing to do to try to separate Cassie from Kid Cudi, which ultimately ended up with ending that relationship, while brief it was.
All right, Rena and Bernarda, thank you both.
All right, just to kind of summarize what she was saying there at the end, aside from, the sex trafficking and freak offs and all those allegations against Diddy, they're also trying to catch him on a RICO case. And Kid Cudi's testimony is important on that side of the case, because if he did in fact blow up Kid Cudi's car in a way to intimidate him or possibly even hurt him, who knows if he expected him to be in the car or whatever, that just further backs the case that he's using power and violence to, as retaliation and manipulation and to control things, which is a key component in racketeering. And I don't know, man, I've seen some people saying that they think Diddy's going to get off because he's too powerful, but it's not looking good.
Cudi, did he do it?
The jurors saw the actual cut, the hole in his Porsche, and then they saw the damage done from that Molotov cocktail where the red interior is ruined and darkened by the fire that started in his car. Cudi, throughout his testimony, insinuated that it was Combs.
Kid Cudi, who arrived to court in jeans and a leather jacket while smoking a cigarette, claims he was the focus of Diddy's jealous rage while he briefly dated Cassie. He testified he and Diddy met up months after the alleged car bombing at the Soho House in Hollywood.
People started laughing in the courtroom as he's describing how he first sees Combs. He said, "I entered this room and Combs was looking out of a window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain." At the end of that meeting, Kid Cudi described shaking Combs' hand and saying, "But let's talk about my car." And Combs said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then he just left.
This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me.
The Grammy winner, whose real name is Scott Mescudi, also testified he believed Diddy had something to do with a break-in at his house in 2011.
He got to his home and he described seeing gifts that were unwrapped.
That's the part that's crazy to me. I don't remember hearing about this, but like I said, that's just another level of petty jealousy, man.
In 2011.
He got to his home and he described seeing gifts that were unwrapped and that his dog was locked away in the bathroom. Although there were cameras.
Wait, gifts that were unwrapped? You're going to break into another man's home and unwrap his gifts? What was this, Christmas time? His birthday, something? Oh, that's crazy. That's insane, man. Oh, I know what'll get to him. I'm going to unwrap this dude's birthday presents. And then we're going to lock his dog in the bathroom. Yeah, that'll teach him to mess with my girl. This dude is crazy.
Away in the bathroom. Although there were cameras that he said were turned a different way that normally wouldn't have been turned. So whoever did break in was intentional. The defense pointed out that there was no forensic evidence, no video evidence of Sean Combs being a part of that break-in.
I don't know, man. It's not looking good for Diddy. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with the case at all. Of course, I hear what the internet says. I've been knowing that Diddy was having these freak offs, having these crazy parties. All the celebrities went to him. All these names get thrown around, like different celebrities that were at the parties. They get clowned on for it. But as far as the actual legal matter goes, I have not been keeping up. And I don't know much about the court of law. But it is interesting I want to know who else is going to be called to trial. I've heard some crazy names. Apparently, Michael B. Jordan has been called to trial. I want to know what that's about. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys know more about it, if you've been keeping up, if you have another video that you recommend I check out, following the case that would kind of like keep me up to things or catch us up on what's going on or who's expected to speak next, definitely let me know. Leave a comment. But yeah, man, as always, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If it's your first time stopping by, I hate to ask again, but please consider subscribing. We're so close to 700 subscribers, man. I'm over the moon about it. I'm excited. Thank you guys so much. And that's all I got to say. I'm out.